The trick is, of course, to minimize the amount of time you want to spend editing. You don't want to go through these every day. You want to set this up and pretty much leave it. Okay. Quite an interesting little thing that that actually kind of the Cape Townians went crazy about. Not quite sure why. Maybe they're just being Cape Townians, but they thought this was just the coolest thing they've ever seen. But for us, it's pretty standard. So I thought I'd reveal it to you and just see what you think. But when I showed them that you could take a Majestic form and actually put it as a link on your cell phone, and you just access it via your internet on your cell phone, so that every time you meet somebody who's interested at all in what you do, you just fill in their details and they've gone on your journey. They thought this was just the coolest thing they've ever seen. So I thought that I'd mention to you. I'll pass this around so you guys can have a look. If the light goes off, just push this one of these little mouse things here, and the light will come back on. But you can have a look at it. So you can actually collect data from your cell phone. Whenever you meet somebody who's interested in what you do, hit submit on your phone, and automatically kickstarts your journey. So you just build your database as you go. The way that you get it onto your phone is that you will. In the Majestic form is just a link. It's just a web link, like a web page link. And every Majestic form that is ever created has got a different link. So just copy that link and paste it into your phone, or you can even email it out if you want to, and that'll bring you to that blank form. So you just copy and paste it into your phone, or type it into your, literally type it, www.majestic./ whatever, put it into your phone, click submit, and then it'll bring up that form. So it's quite a useful little thing. So it's just a really clever way that you can just build your database without writing scraps of paper and leaving them in your bag. That's right. So I'll pass that round for you. Okay, so then just to summarize, I just want to make sure everybody's absolutely clear on the journey process. Okay, journey process, a series of episodes that go out. You can have as many as you want. I've got about 45 of them at the moment. Inside this journey, the first one should be very much about you and who you are, okay? And how you really, what motivates you and what makes you passionate about what it is that you do. Okay, so that's episode 1. As then episode 2 and 3 go out, you start including articles that you've written as if you were a journalist. And you do that because you want to build credibility. Now, when you put all these components together and you've loaded your database or your inner circle, now you're sitting in a very good position. Because now you can start to say, tick the boxes, send your journey. Every single person that you ever come in contact with will now be on your journey and receive regular contact from you. In exchange for that, forms are going to start coming in, and when you receive those forms, you can go, great, now I've got a qualified lead. Now the question is, what do you do with those forms? So you've got these little forms coming in. Okay, your journey's gone out, your forms are coming back, now what? Well, Majestic has something in it called a sales funnel. And I'm just going to explain to you briefly what it is. A sales funnel is like your sales pipeline. Every time a form comes in, you can set your sales funnel to track where in the sales process that particular lead is. So someone just give me an example. Vosa, tell me about your sales cycle. What are the different steps you go through? You have an appointment, a proposal. How does it work?
First, ideally, gather information.
Okay.
Do a proposal.
Oh, the FNA, the financial needs analysis. Okay, so you do the financial needs analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, create a solution.
Prepare solution. Yeah. Yeah.
Appointment.
Okay.
Hopefully that's the same.
And then hopefully close. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now what will happen then? And then with the close, you could say amount that has been closed, the various products that have been closed, that you sold them, your commission on that, and any other potential comments that you might have. Now, in the sales funnel allows you to capture all of this in your business and to immediately pull a live report. So you can say, I'm currently dealing with 37 prospects, okay? 20 of them are in the FNA stage, 8 of them are in this stage, etc., 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 and so many of you closed. And on a month by month or week by week or daily, however you want, you can actually pull a report that actually shows that sales funnel. So it allows you to track the lead. And why is that so important? Huh. Lots of beautiful like birds and wildlife going around here. So what will happen is within your sales funnel, okay, this allows you to close the loop. You build your relationship, you get the data back, and now you close the deal. That means you've tracked a lead from the moment they've entered your business all the way through the process until you've actually generated revenue from them. Okay, now, why do we want to do that? There's a very important reason. Well, there's two. One of them is obviously so you can measure your business a bit better. Okay, that goes without saying. But there's another important reason. And that reason is to do with cross-marketing. All right, let's assume now that your wonderful little circle, okay, has now been engaged. You built your journey, you've got your form set up, and every time you meet somebody, you add them on using your phone or whatever you want to do, even through your website. You're adding them in here. Your journey's going out, everything's cool. What you want to do now is you want to start adding people here, more people to this little inner circle of yours. But you can either advertise for them, which is one way of doing it, an expensive way of doing it, but there's another way of doing it, a more efficient way of doing it. What do you think the most efficient way of generating other people into this would be? Sorry?
Ask other people.
Yes, how? Ask them for what?
Ask them for referrals.
Ask them to go into their database, exactly. So what you do is, it's very simple really, isn't it? You just have another person here, as another mate of yours, or someone that you meet at an event like this, and guess what they've done? Exactly what you've done. They've got their circle, they've engaged their community, and they've got theirs. So you might have 150 people in your community. This guy might have been going for a bit longer, might have 500. The target markets are probably pretty similar. Because if you count the potential number of target markets within a business, there's very few. You're either going for consumers, or consumers in a particular geographic location, or you're targeting businesses, and maybe it's SMEs, or medium-sized, or large corporates, or maybe within a particular sector. There's not a lot of different target markets to categorize. So all you're really looking for is saying, well, if I deal with consumers, or I want consumers who are relatively affluent, find somebody who's already tapped into that market you want to get into. So instead of you advertising and cold calling and doing all these conventional things, just find someone who's already done it. Anyone want to give me an example of where that could help them in their business? Think of somebody who's already working with. Patty, thanks. Patty's got the Green Powerhouse. Okay, she's looking for people who are interested in green things, okay, and want to learn more about the green stuff. She deals with an organization called Midgard, who's already done this process. So here's Patty here. She's just started with hers. Here's Midgard with their existing database. So what does she do? She goes, listen, Midgard, won't you please use your database to promote my new product? Midgard says, well, I think it's a pretty good product, especially considering we helped you build it. Okay? We will promote you into our database. And hey, while you're there, Scott, Patty says, Scott, won't you please go into your night out database of all your dinner parties that you use, that 2,000 that you've collected over the year, okay? And you've already got a relationship with them because you've already read my journey that I sent to them, so I've got a relationship with these guys. And I will then communicate to my database about Patty's product. And Midgard does the same. And that's why we will book out 2 full evenings of people promoting Patty's products. Sorry? Okay, okay. So what's in it for me? Okay, well, first of all, this just bringing people to the dinner party works for me. Okay, so it's because I'm event-driven, but not everybody's like that. I can then say to Patty, there's a couple of options. Patty, you pay me a percentage for every person we send to you, because we can track. If you do a launch, for every person that we send to you, it gives 50 Rand or whatever, and we can make a deal. Perhaps it's commission-based. Maybe Patty's, when her database gets built, if she's got a database, then she'll promote me into her database and bring her friends. And in fact, she's already done that because she's taken her, how many did you have in your database? Do you know? 65. Okay, 65 people. Now, 65 might not sound a lot, but when they're close people to her, it's a lot of people, and they're going to come to this launch. She adds her 65, okay, to my database. That's 65 people I never had before. So what happens is she's growing my database, Midgard's growing database, we're all growing each other's databases. The fact that there's duplicates in them, so what? It's the same intention. So it's beautiful. So what happens now is Patty gets a launch, okay? She gets a pre-launch dinner party, which is going to be packed out, 2 of them, completely packed out. Plus, when her launch, time comes for her actual launch of her business, of the Green Powerhouse, this is going to be packed because she's going to be able to leverage all these databases, including her database, to make sure that launch is sorted. How much advertising and cold calling has she done? Nothing. Saved her an absolute fortune. That's the difference. And there's other people she can use as well, because maybe you can go to somebody who's not a Majestic client yet, but you know who's got a database of people who resonate. Maybe you know a yoga instructor, and that yoga instructor's got a whole lot of students and potential students, and they've got 100 in their database. So you just add the yoga instructor, and then they will then send their clients to you. Beautiful. Now for me, that's marketing of the future.